Wow. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to a special post Warriors NBA playoff game Zenny 62 live stream talk. I am shocked, and I'll be candid with you, okay? I was so certain the Warriors are going to win this second game that once they got a huge lead just after the start of the second half, I turned away and started working on other projects. And my mom called and said, "You have to come down here and see this." Because I was just simply going to, I had my canned entry, my canned presentation. I assumed the Warriors are going to do what everyone expected the Warriors to do, which is basically dispatch the Clippers and go into LA with a 2-game lead, 2 easily won contests, close out the Clippers in LA, which could still happen. But no, that's not what happened. What the Warriors did, and I wrote my piece, which will be on Zenny62.com and OaklandNewsNow.com and OaklandNewsOnline.com, where I said that the one problem Warriors had all season long wasn't an alarming one, because the Warriors were still winning a lot more than they were losing. But, and I know everyone will attest to this who's watched the Warriors used to get big leads and they would hold on to them and they would stomp you. You know, they had this tremendous killer instinct. But this season, that happened less often. The Warriors were still winning. But the big leads that in the past they would hold on to and then win and then close out a game with would evaporate, sometimes rapidly. And in this instance, that's precisely what happened. But this time it ended in a complete loss, because you had the heightened intensity of it being playoffs added to the Warriors' mistakes. There were a number of games. Remember the Lakers game on Christmas Day where at Oracle Arena, where the Lakers walked in with LeBron James and blew them out? And it was like the Warriors didn't care. It was kind of like, this is Christmas, we'll let them have it. It wasn't as if the Warriors really wanted to prove to you that they were the better team. It was more like, we'll get you another time. We'll get you another time. And they quite literally coasted into the playoffs with that attitude. This is going to turn for us. We'll get you another time. Oh, Beverly, you're just so cute with your little yapping, Cocker Spaniel ways. And you turn around and say, "Oh yeah, that's what you think of me? Bam, take that. Bam, take that. Bam, take that. Bam, take that. Bam, take that." And then Lou Williams. Bam, bam, bam. I mean, just efficient play from a team that felt it was being belittled and found itself on the wrong end of a situation that was actually to their advantage. The lead the Warriors had came early. It wasn't like the Warriors went, late into the fourth quarter and they built up this enormous lead. They had this, okay? And they got lazy. All right? So what we have here is a contest where, if you look at the Clippers rundown, all right? Daniel Glary, he had 24 points. Alexander had 4. Zubac 2. Patrick Beverly had 10. Shimei 12. And then Harrell 25. Listen to this. Harrell 25. Williams 36. Green 13. All right. So you had 6 people. 6 people who were hey Shiras, how you doing? You had 6 people who were in double digits for the Clippers. 6. and you had production from every player save for one, and that was Thornwell. In other words, you had some level of point production. Whereas for the Warriors, what you had was Green 14, Durant 21, Curry 29, Thompson 17, Looney 19, Cook 11. So you had double-digit production from 1, 2, 3. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the Clippers matched them 6 for 6. And the Warriors had, unlike the Clippers, the Warriors had 3 players with no production. Jordan Bell, Jonas Dubrenko, and Alfonso McKinney all had 0. All right? All had 0. Oh, you're very welcome, by the way. And then on top of that, DeMarcus Cousins, who went out with an injury, had 2 points. So you had 4 players for the Warriors, 4 of them. And of the total roster of, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 players. You had 4 of the 13 players that basically produced no points whatsoever. Whereas you had everybody on the Clippers producing points, even if it was just 2 points for a player. Okay? So the Warriors bench basically failed it. All right? Andrew Bogut had 3 points. 3. That was it. That was it. The Clippers put in a team effort. There's no other way to describe it. And I'm interested now to read the tweets. What'd you guys think of the game? Oh, and by the way, thank you for the thank you, Josh. It says Crazy went to work after halftime. Thanks for the update. You're quite welcome. And Joseph Bensman says Clippers have a solid team. Yeah, but here's my question to you. Let's just get this question out of the way. Will they win the series? Because here's how I look at it, all right? Had the 31-point lead held, all right? And as John and Colin just chimed in, that's inexcusable for the Warriors, especially playing at home. Absolutely. By the way, quick programming note, early time Friday, 3 o'clock on the Pacific Coast out there where Oakland is, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the East, where I'm at right now. Lee Steinberg will be my guest, okay? And I'm going to, Lee Steinberg, so I'm really excited to have my friend back. We're going to talk about, obviously, the NFL draft and his clients. But I digress. Back to the Warriors issue. Binsman says Clippers have a solid team. Yeah, but will they win the series? John Akala says this is excusable for the Warriors, especially playing at home. But will they win the series? And here's how I look at it. The Warriors leave Oakland for Los Angeles. They suffer the bad end of a 1-1 split, blowing a 31-point lead. They gave a team renewed confidence that really had no business having any, but now they've got it, and they know their strengths. And they go down to LA not for 2 games, but for 3, okay? Because you have a 2-2, you've got 2-3-2, right? That's bad. That's bad, okay? Pure and out bad. So on Thursday night, where we pick up the scene, it doesn't suddenly look like what we thought it was going to. And DeMarcus Cousins is out. That leaves the playing field for Andrew Bogut, but will he deliver? All right? And Cohen Wolf said, I feel like the bench was the reason they lost. When you have 4 of your 13 players contributing as a combined group, just 2 points, yeah, you definitely have it. Oh, it's 2, 2, 1, 1, and 1. Thank you, Michael, for that. Mike corrected me. It's 2, 2, 1, 1, and 1. So that's actually great for the Warriors because they go to the Clippers for 2 games, not 3. I thought it was 2, 3, 2. Thank you for clarifying. It's 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. That's good for the Warriors because theoretically they could split here, all right? They could split here, split in LA and then come back to Oakland with a chance to win that game, and then of course they would have to go back and forth. It looks better than it was. You don't want a scenario where the Clippers have you in their backyard for 3 games. So suddenly they're looking at the ability to close out the series in one go, right? Because they've got 1 game already. So 2, 3, 4, they're done. Under a 2-3-2 format, that's what we were looking at, but not in this case, all right? So now, I'm glad you told me that, because now I've got to edit my post. But no one has answered my question, all right? No one has answered my question. So now I have to write, all right, tied 1 game all, and for 2 games before returning to Oakland, but against the team with renewed confidence. Okay. You didn't answer my question. Is this it for the Warriors? Mike Zinn says, disappointed is in how Durant played second half, too timid. Why do you think that he played too timid? I mean, what was it about, what was going on about, do you think Beverly had gotten to him? Maybe it was an elbow there that we didn't see, right? What happened there? What went down in your view? What was the issue? Oxmanderis thinks the Celtics will go to the finals. John Acala says, I think the Warriors will still win the series. I say 4 games to 2. So sounds like you're predicting that the Clippers will win 1 more game somewhere, right? That's what it looks like. Okay. Let's see here. I've got, well, here we have, this is how the scoring went in terms of quarters. Take a look at this. All right. This is Clippers at the top, Warriors at the bottom, okay? Clippers started off behind, and then they took, this is quite literally, they took even further dip behind in the second half, and then in the first half. And in the second half, they turned it around. See that? 44-35, 41-23. And the Warriors slid in the fourth quarter. So this is a tale of 2 halves, and a change in strategy, obviously, for the Clippers. It was a tale of 2 halves. How many turnovers do the Warriors have? Let me see here. Stats. Field goals, 3-pointers, total rebounds, blocks, steals, turnovers. The Warriors had 22 turnovers here versus 19 for the Clippers. So the Warriors had more turnovers. But even then, it wasn't a dramatic difference. This is 19, 20, 21, 22. That's 4 more, okay? John Acala says, wow, 85 points in the second half for Clippers. Very poor defense by Warriors. Yeah. The Warriors just gave up playing defense. Straight out. Just said, hey, you know, it's, you know what? It looks like to me the Warriors, worst playoff loss ever for the Warriors. It's not only the worst playoff loss ever for the Warriors, it's the greatest comeback in NBA playoffs history. The last greatest comeback was the LA Lakers versus the Seattle Supersonics in 1989. So this is like I said, this is a confidence killer or harmer, not a killer, a life questioner. You know what I mean? Well, it makes you, if you're the Warriors, question your basketball life. What's the meaning of all this, right? What happened out there? Why did we let that transpire the way that it did? What's the meaning of life? Okay. So it's just, you know, uh, ridiculous. All right. Any thoughts before I turn to the Raiders? Let's continue to, oh, you know what? Before I turn to the Raiders, let's do this. Let's talk more stats. All right. Field goal percentage. Clippers 80. Clippers, I had to do that sometimes. It's 2:19 in the morning because I got to do that, okay? Clippers, 56.5%. Warriors, 53.3%. Three-pointers. The Clippers, this is where the Clippers beat the Warriors handily. Listen to this. Look at this, okay? Well, I'll just tell you, all right? The Clippers had 45.2% 3 points, all right? Yeah, Cousins' injury was the thigh, Colin. The Warriors shot 39.3%. There's your game right. Consider your turnovers. There's your game right there. The Warriors were not shooting threes with as great a regularity. Excuse me. They weren't making the threes with as great a regularity as the Clippers were. 45% is an incredibly high number for threes. Specifically, 45.2%, okay? The Warriors with 39.3%. Total rebounds, Warriors out-rebounded the Clippers 38-4. Clippers had one more offensive rebound than the Warriors did. Assists, not much difference, but hey, well, edge to the Clippers 34-31. Blocks, the Warriors had 6 blocks, the Clippers 1. Steals, here's something else where this leads to the turnovers. The Clippers had 14 steals versus 11 for the Warriors. Turnovers, we went over that. 22 for the Warriors, 19 for the Clippers. So basically, in terms of steals, the Clippers beat the Warriors, but in terms of total turnovers, the Warriors beat the Clippers. That kind of evens out. So you say that kind of evens out, and you say, okay, where is the advantage? The threes. That 3 percentage. Points in the paint, 50 for the Clippers versus 42 for the Warriors. Personal fouls, 33 for the Clippers, 31 for the Warriors. So there's your breakdown, all right? Wow. Wow. Mike Zinn says, Collingworth says, yeah, that 44 and a third was a franchise record, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. Mike Zoom says, this team has lacked cohesion all year. I really think some of it has to do with Durant. Hey, can you elaborate on that? Because it seems to me that my thought is that Kevin seems to almost insist on playing more of a rough game. More of his game where I'm going to be rough. I'm going to talk the way that I want to. I'm going to be like that cartoon LeBron James guy that's muscling over everybody, and I'm going to be basically an on-the-court jerk. That's how it looks to me. I'm happy to be wrong, but it's not the Warrior way. It looks like he's acting out something. MA says they could have beaten them easily even without Cousins. Problem. Here is the comment of the night. No, this is what MA writes. No appetite for victory. When you've enjoyed the best caviar 3 times already, ship rings, a 4th helping isn't that exciting. They act like it. They really do act like it. Like I said earlier in this broadcast, the Warriors have lost their killer instinct. They're just playing through the string. Again, that fact reared its ugly head Christmas when they played the Lakers, and they let the Lakers punk them by as much as a 30-point lead, okay, before losing it, eventually just around 20 points, punk them in their own house. And it was okay. On Christmas Day, okay, on Christmas Day. And while the Warriors prevailed largely because the wheels came off of the Lakers. You could see that coming. It wasn't the Warriors. All right? Cowboy Wrestler, how you doing? Cowboy Wrestler says, as a Warriors fan, I'm extremely embarrassed by their performance at the end of the game. Rick Gray, how you doing? Rick Gray says, laugh out loud. The Warriors got thugged by Beverly and Clips. They couldn't hit a shot in the fourth quarter. Warriors don't hit threes and throw ball away with a minute to go. And what's WDYE? I don't get that one. And WDYE. What is this, Rick? What is WDYE? What is that? What is that? Please tell me. WDYE. Is that, I mean, I know it's not WKRP in Cincinnati. I don't know. Oh, and what do you expect? Oh, I get it. Okay. WDYE is what you expect. It's not WKRP in Cincinnati. Got it. Okay. Just checking. Yeah, you're right. But the question is why? And again, I asked, I asked a number of you, not just one. Mike Zun had said he thought it was a lot to do with Durant, but he didn't articulate what was wrong with Durant to fill in that blank where it's like, okay, you're making this statement. What do you mean? What is it, all right? Cohen says, if the Warriors blew a 30-point lead to a decent team, how are they going to beat the Trailblazers or the Nuggets? Exactly. And again, I say to you, this has been a problem all year long, all right? This has been a problem all year long. But it didn't happen enough to erode the Warriors. Well, actually, it did happen enough to erode the Warriors' record. We were not talking about the Warriors that won more points than the Chicago Bulls. Excuse me, won more games than the Chicago Bulls, right? Remember the 2015 Warriors that blazed a trail through the NBA with their new coach, Steve Kerr? We're not talking about those Warriors. We're talking about Warriors that have won. We're talking about the defending NBA champions who have won it not once, not twice, but 3 times. 3 times in the past 4 straight years, which is an incredible record. But, you know, the question everyone has is, hey, look, can you sustain it? And if so, how? I flip that around and say, what are the components to decline? And the number one component, you and I both know what it is. Some of you have already pointed to it. It's the C word, complacency. The Warriors have been complacent. Like, oh, we can just, you know, shift into this gear anytime we want to, and everything is going to be okay. Well, the Warriors figured out tonight, when it matters the most, it's not. This was a good wake-up call for them. Rick Gray says this: the Warriors always expect to get bailed out by Steph, Clay, KD, or a bench player. I'll add some combination of both. Most nights, the other team doesn't have the Clippers drive, and the Warriors are up by 20. And that's the thing. You say most nights, Rick, but there were these times this season where the Warriors were letting teams come back, and even if they didn't win, those margins of victory were much smaller than they had been in the past. In the 2015 season, even the 2016 season, you know, when they lost to, eventually lost to the Cavaliers in the finals, all right? So, and so Mike Zoom says, just guessing about Durant. Maybe Durant is not on board after the green spat. Looking to next year with the Knicks. Hope I'm wrong. I don't understand why Kevin Durant would jump ship for the Knicks. The Warriors have $2 billion in their pocket from a stadium they haven't even opened. It's still in the Bay Area. It's just across the bay. It looks nice to me. There's a guy over there named Bruce. Right across the street has this fantastic Mediterranean restaurant with the best falafels you've ever had. Okay? KD's going to skip out on that? Dude. Just saying, all right? Dude, okay? Cohen Worth says Beverly got under the entire team's skin, which led the Warriors to get sloppy and make all those fouls and turnovers. Predator Kingdom says Beverly and Harrell are some goons. I like the Clippers squad. But let me ask you. So basically these goons were there all season, right? It's just that, well, yeah, this is the second game of the season. The goons reared their head the first game when it quite literally looked like Kevin Durant was belittling them. But this time, the second game, those goons said, you know what? We're going to stick it to you, man. Wow. I like that, goons. The goon squad. So you call the Clippers squad the goon squad, right? The goon squad. That would be an interesting hat. MA says this. Kevin Durant may be wanting to leave for reasons around wanting to create his own legacy. In Oakland, he will always be in Curry, Clay, Draymond's shadow. He wants to be where he is candid and wanted for a statue. Are you basically saying he's insecure like LeBron James? Because that's what I hear. I mean, why not? I mean, first of all, this is where I take issue with that, okay? And because Kevin Durant came and Nike threw a crap load of money at him. I think it was something like somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 million sponsorship. No, sponsorship was not quite that much, but it was substantial. And let me look that up regarding Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, Nike Warriors contract. Okay. See if there's anything. Yeah. So Warriors for Kevin Durant to sign 2-year max deal, and that was June 30th of last year. Okay, he signed a contract with Nike through 2024. Okay, he has the option on his max deal, so he's got. Let's see here. Yeah. That deal, he had a contract extension with them that was enormous, and we've got that was 2014. So I apologize. That was long before KD made the switch. So that it wasn't that. I had heard from a friend that there was an adjustment in KD's sponsorship agreements that further enticed him to join the Warriors. And it says, Kevin Durant's contract structure seems to be the source of Warriors' tension. And let's see, Kevin Durant has twice taken the same contract gamble as LeBron James, and it seems to be the source of the Warriors' tension. I think this comes to what you were saying, M.A. The Golden State Warriors dynasty appears to be hanging in the balance after Kevin Durant and Draymond Green got into a heated exchange that saw Green criticize Durant's handling of his impending free agency. According to one report, some Warriors teammates agreed with Green's assessment that Durant had invited more speculation and cast a cloud over the season by not shutting down free agency talk. Durant had signed the same 1-in-1 contract structure that LeBron James used with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the short-term commitments appear to be the center of the Warriors' tension. Kevin Durant and Draymond Green's on-court spat, which turned into an explicit and intense exchange about Durant's impending free agency, is threatening to tear the Golden State Warriors apart. After Durant criticized Green for his late-game decision-making during an overtime loss to the Clippers, Green unleashed a tirade on Durant, reportedly calling him a bitch, okay, and questioning Durant's handling of his free agency. You know, if somebody called me that, I'd be ready to throw down. Nah, no, I wouldn't. I've got thicker skin than that. But I could see where somebody else would be ready to. Anyway, the Warriors suspended Green for 1 game on Tuesday, saying Green crossed the line, while many teams agreed that Green went too far, according to they said the criticism was all based. Durant's free agency is below key issues with the players. So they basically says Durant could have ended this by saying just how much he loves playing for the Warriors. He has 2 one-on-one contracts, 1 year and then a 2nd-year player option. And it's the same deal LeBron James took with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2nd stint. For him, the deal serves 2 purposes. 1, to maximize his earnings. When a player joins a new team, it takes 3 years before that team has the player's full bird rights. That refers to Larry Bird's situation. At that point, they can re-sign him to a longer, pricier deal than anyone else in the NBA. To apply pressure on the Cavaliers, with the threat of LeBron James leaving each season, the Cavs had to be perpetually in win-now mode and making moves to maximize their chances. Durant is doing the same thing, and he's part of a tiny set of NBA players who could afford to do it. If possible, players like to lock in long-term contracts for the security that comes with them. LeBron James and Kevin Durant are two of the only players, or some of the only players, excuse me, who could play on 1-year deals and know that teams would still sign them to max contracts, even in the event of a significant injury. Curiously, though, Durant hasn't been maximizing his earnings as LeBron has. That's true. Well, actually, that's not exactly true. Kevin Durant has been investing in tech, so this person doesn't quite know that aspect of it, but I digress, all right? It says if Durant had taken his full max, the Warriors would have had the money to re-sign him. It says Kevin Durant gave up $10 million for the upcoming season. I'm thinking that whatever's going on, all right, I'll just say this. I don't sense that whatever's going on, it's clear that Kevin Durant is playing his own game. Rick Gray says, what do no bird rights mean? Bird rights in the NBA, I'm actually looking that up for this clear and specific definition so I don't screw it up, right? But bird rights refer to the Larry Bird exception, according to what I just found here. It allows teams to exceed the salary cap to re-sign their own free agents at an amount up to the maximum salary, the max contract. To qualify as a Bird free agent, a player must have played 3 seasons without being waived or changing teams as a free agent, okay? So there's early bird rights, for example. Early bird rights are the difference between bird rights and early bird rights, which involves limits on contract offers. While bird players can receive a maximum salary deal for up to 5 years, the early bird exception cannot be used to offer a max deal, all right? So again, let me repeat. The Larry Bird exception, or bird rights, allows teams to exceed the salary cap to re-sign their own free agents. So in the case of Kevin Durant with a 1-and-1, he's a free agent this time. The Warriors, are forced to go the max route once again to sign him to a lot of money. Or he threatens to leave. And there are players who don't like that. It's like it produces instability. Hey, Emil Scott, by the way, how you doing? And so MA says, here's why. KD has 2 rings, but could never get it done in OKC. He knows the narrative that we all wonder if he got it done by joining the Dubs. It's all to his wing. He wants wins with no stars, I think. ML Scott says, hey, folks, Mike Zuma says, won't happen with the Knicks. Terrible organization. Good luck with that, Kevin. Yeah, I can't see why Kevin would, of all the teams in the NBA, why would he jump ship and go to play for, James Dolan, who owns the Knicks? As notoriously bad as that owner is considered to be by many. What's the upside in that? I'm not seeing that. Cabaret says, Mike Zula, my point exactly, Knicks are a garbage dump. Yeah, I'm not really seeing that one myself, okay? I'm not seeing that one myself. Asterisk, okay? Gotcha. But again, to me, it doesn't, all that's well and good regarding Kevin Durant, but it, to me, doesn't answer the question, why is his play so subpar? Okay, I mean, what is it? What is it? What is he? What is it about his What is it about what he's going through now that is causing him to, arguably become more of a liability than an asset? If we go back to the Warriors stats, though, Kevin Durant, he had just 21 points. And, all right, he had 21 points. Curry had 29. He was a factor, but he wasn't 31 points. 31-point factor, they win. All right? But 21, you got what you got. Also, let's not forget, we had 4 bench players contributing as a group 2 points. All right? As a group. Cowboy Wrestler says this. He says, excuse me. Cohen Worth says, Indiana is my prediction for his team. Cowboy Wrestler says, Colin Worth, I personally think Durant is going to team in the top 10 medium market. So you all think he's leaving. Whereas I think he would be stupid to leave. Now, if the Warriors don't win the championship, and the reason for that winning can be pointed to him, that's a different story. In that case, they would be delighted to part ways. I think that would be sad. I think he's been a tremendous addition to them. And let's not forget the reaction. All right? Let's not forget the reaction that people had when Kevin Durant joined the Warriors. It was like, why are you going to this rich team? Rich white team, okay? I mean, all kinds of ridiculous, and in some cases racist in a way, takes on Kevin Durant coming to the Warriors. I, for one, thought it was fantastic. Just like I think it would have been fantastic if LeBron James had joined the Warriors along with Kevin Durant. Boogie Cousins I was excited about, but LeBron James, a Warrior? Woo! Okay. Colin says, I think DeMarcus is re-signing it. And that's good because he'll be better. Predator Kingdom, how you doing? Predator Kingdom says, I think KD's going to sign a 1-year contract to stay with the Warriors. And I think so too. I just monetarily can't see him just easily moving that way. Because, all right? Predator Kingdom says, KD definitely ain't going to mess with New York and Johnny and Guitar, Jimmy James Dolan. Mr. Dolan that will throw you out of his building. You out of my building. Oh, you don't like the way that I play? Well, we'll just take your tickets away. What a jerky thing to do. My Lord. Man, that's awful. You believe that? You hear about that? You about how Dolan took the tickets away from this guy that basically, he's walking by, right? Dolan is. And this guy says, hey, your team sucks or something like that, all right? Sean, I didn't see the video. No, what was the email you used? Because I looked for a video and I didn't see one. I only got something from somebody regarding the Raiders and the roof issue. But I didn't see a video, no. Let me try it. Write down the email that I'm looking for so that I can find that right now. Because no, you sent it on Facebook. Well, that's different. That's not email. That's the Facebook Messenger. Oh, for crying out loud, man. You didn't say that. Hold on. Oh. So you said email. You did not say I'm sending it Facebook Messenger, okay? All right. What roof issue in Raiders? Oh, there's no roof issue. It's just that some people were under the impression the roof was already up and it's not. That's, that's it. Hold on a second. Just going to my Facebook page here. Trying to figure out, oh, come on, give me this thing. What? Schedule coming out Thursday. Ooh. I do not see, all right. Yeah, man. Oh. Yeah, I don't see it, Sean. Sorry about that. It's not coming up, okay? So, whatever reason. Let's see here. Okay. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to get this. Okay. And, all right. So you said you sent it via Facebook, all right? Hey, Vernon Glenn writes, Vernon Glenn is a local anchor with KPIX in San Francisco. What an epic meltdown. LA Clippers erased a 31-point deficit and lead 133 to 131, 15 seconds left. 5 exclamation points. Ooh. Yeah, I don't see at all. If you sent me an email or message, I don't see it, Sean. I'm sorry. I don't have anything here. I've got yeah. Send it to me to my email, because you asked for my email, I sent it. So other than that, I'm just gonna assume it's just not really there, okay? Sorry. At any rate, moving forward, moving along. We've got hey, good night, Rick, I'll see ya. Predator Kingdom says schedule coming out Thursday, which I said. Colin Work says, so does like nobody have faith in Bucks for championship? No. Cowboy Rusher says Predator Kingdom, thank you. Got it. No, I don't. Shifting gears, this is the Raiders' first day back, and let's see if you know, there was a pretty cool video with Antonio Brown getting up in the morning, making his way to, you know, Raider headquarters and all that stuff, all right? But what I'm interested in is the mechanics lien issue. Rick is gone, so he's not going to say this. I talked about it last night. Today I made some calls, I didn't get a hold of the people I was trying to get a hold of. I'm not going to say who they were, so I wasn't able to get any more information than I had, all right? A mechanics lien is a document that's filed to make sure that you get paid from work because you think you're not going to get paid. Well, the mechanics lien that was filed against Las Vegas Stadium, which is owned by Clark County, is $290, well, in total $278 million, okay? Of that total amount payment, $93 million has been paid to that point. Hey, good evening, Sean. I'll see you, all right? So, but that's huge. Normally, that's not done. You're not filing a lien this early in the process for money that you expect to get. Generally, you're getting paid, everything's moving along, you know, swimmingly. Something is wrong. I'm trying to find out what that something is, okay? But it's quite obvious that something is wrong. All right, it is 2:48. I'm going to close out very soon, like in about 5 minutes. Colin Worth says, why, though? Because the Bucks, we're talking about the NBA championship, have a great chemistry and did a great job stopping James Harden. True. John Akala says, why do you think the Raiders are also giving up home games in preseason to play at a neutral site? Well, part of it's money. And Mark Davis' idea that the Raiders are a global brand, and so he's trying to build the Raiders as a global brand. That's what that's all about. I personally don't agree with it. I believe the Raiders' biggest problem is that they don't commit to a place and act like that place is their own and adopt it. They have, in Oakland, what they haven't done is what the Oakland A's have done. The Oakland A's have spent money to upgrade and improve various aspects of the baseball viewing experience at the Oakland Coliseum. The Raiders have not in their history. The Raiders haven't contributed to upgrades in the East Side Club or any kind of special bar or lounge or experience. Well, that's not true. There is one club area there, but even then, it's not clear to me, and I have to double check this with my sources, that the Raiders paid for that. By contrast, the the Athletics, built the treehouse, and they redesigned the north end of the East Side Club and gave it this natural tree shrouded feel. It's really cool. If you've never seen it before, you've got to see it. All right. So Cowboy Wrestler says, trust me, the Raiders are not a global brand. Cowboys, Yankees, Lakers are global brands. But get this. Think about this. What do the Cowboys, the Lakers, and the Yankees all have in common? I'll give you a hint. In the case of Dallas Cowboys, they never moved anyplace else. In the case of the LA Lakers, they've been in LA for a long, long time, right? In the case of the Yankees, how long have the Yankees been the Yankees in New York, right? So the bottom line is each one of those organizations have a history such that ties them to where they are, okay? And for example, the franchise that became the Lakers were founded in 1946 as, get this name, the Detroit Gems. And they played in the National Basketball League, the NBL, all right? And they moved to Minneapolis in 1947, became the Minneapolis Lakers, and because of the 10,000 lakes, right? And so, bottom line is but when they finally got to, after they changed their name, and from Minnesota, and they then left to Los Angeles, trying to find out when they did this here, because the Lakers, let's see here, doesn't make it clear in this history when, the team moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota, changed its name to the Lakers, and they wrote this history, right? And would you believe that in writing this history, they never explained, this is on Britannica, they never explained when the Lakers actually left for LA. I'm not kidding you. It talked about how the Lakers advanced in the NBA Finals, set records, all right? And then it says the team's first title since relocating to Los Angeles, but they never said when they relocated to LA. This is sloppy. Moved to LA in 1960, right? Okay, Cowboy Wrestler, get this. That statement is not even, here it is, okay. It isn't here, I missed it, all right? It says, attendance at Laker games fell after McCallum's retirement in '56, and the team moved to LA before the 60-61 season. I got it, okay. But that is my point. The Lakers have been in LA since 1960. It's now 2019. If the Raiders had remained in Oakland and not moved to Los Angeles, they would have built themselves into a global brand. The Raiders have, I'm talking about, that image that is popular around the world, and arguably they would have stayed in Oakland, won, still got their new stadium. But they didn't do that. They went to LA and then came back. And now they're moving to Vegas. Who knows them, right? So you're going to a city that doesn't really know you and is going less because they want to see you and far more because they want to be part of the NFL experience in a new football stadium against providing for a number of Las Vegas residents a place where they can watch their beloved teams from hometowns they came from. So guess what? If they're from Dallas, they're not rooting for the Raiders, they're rooting for the Cowboys. If they're from Kansas City, they're not rooting for the Raiders, they're rooting for the Chiefs. If they're from Denver, you get the idea, and so on and so on and so on. Does that at all inure to the benefit of the Raider brand? No. Not at all. It does not. It's more like the Raiders are kind of served up as, you know, kind of a mini Super Bowl games for each these other teams, right? And you get situations where the stadiums may be half or 1/3 the other team. Something we never saw at the Coliseum. So it's not a great situation. Now note, in that sentence, I never said they would not have sellout games, and I did not say their inaugural season would not be a success. Because of the novelty factor. It's new, it's a big building, and it's Las Vegas. Okay? But beyond 3-year window after that, then you start evaluating how well the relocation is doing. All right? And then there's that thing called a lawsuit. Just saying. All right. It's 2:56, it's almost 3 o'clock. It is almost 3 o'clock, and so I am going to shove off, all right? And I will see everybody later. Remember, NFL mock draft on Wednesday. I'm sending out an email to everybody who wants to participate. Lee Steinberg on Friday. NFL draft